Welcome to another day, another energy update. How is everybody today? It is a lovely, sunny, cloudy day. You know that sort of cloudy where it's like, it is cloudy, but you can still see the sun through the clouds. It doesn't look like straight up night in the middle of the day. And it kind of felt like one of those days in general, like the whole back and forth. Probably just with this Mercury retrograde going on. And things are just, they're going in the right direction, but they're still a little bit off. I feel like that's what it is. I'm going to pull this top card off. King of Cups. How do y'all like my addition of feathers? Ah, just wanted to pop out there. The Knight of Swords. And me dropping everything. Oh gosh. Justice. Hangman. Knight of Pentacles. The Knight of Pentacles and the Nine of Pentacles. That threw me off. I'm like, did I already say nine? Two of Swords. Five of Cups. Page of Wands. At the bottom, we have Three of Swords. Heartbreak. All in all, though, I mean, we got somebody who's more in their emotions, and they do want to come forward with, like, some sort of truth, bring justice to the situation. However, they're still feeling like they're in this sort of stuck energy. And just moving slowly, because you know they're watching the person watching, in their power, doing their thing. Which to some degree, I feel like it makes them conflicted, because they're like, well, I see them being happy, being themselves. Meanwhile, I'm over here in my Five of Cups energy. Watching those Three Cups on the ground and not looking at the two behind me. The Page of Wands back there is like, let me push something forward. Even though I'm feeling all in my feels, in my sadness and feels. It's a process. Come on now. It is a process. My little feathers had me distracted. Let's see. You know, all in all, this looks pretty positive. Just, it is a process, guys. It's going to be back and forth. I know I need to do X. I know I need to bring justice to this. However, some part of me is just stuck in my head. Especially if you decided, okay, this is a little much. I need to go do my own thing while you're figuring yourself out. I'm going to go live my life. Do something for me instead of being like in that waiting, sort of chasing energy. Which does help these sort of situations come together, because it's like, okay, now you're focusing on you instead of focusing on the other person, which they may have treated that attention kind of like a validation that, you know, somebody, especially if you made more than them, or in a sense they looked at you as if you were like this amazing, better person than them. It's like, okay, well, this is my validation. And I love this validation. and they didn't treat it like it should have been treated, which was treasured, but it was a lesson for you and a lesson for them. You in the sense that, you needed to see your self-worth, and them understanding that, like, good things don't just, like, you have, not necessarily that you have to work with those good things, but that you have to flow with it, instead of being like, okay, nope, I need validation, all these other things. Like, I can't just be myself and accept things for kind of how they are. You are adored. Don't be fooled by the players, and don't be fooled by yourself. There's no one more lovable nor loved than you, and I know everyone. Precious, the universe. See, this Knight of Pentacles, they see you now. They're like, wow, what am I doing? And that's where this energy over here is at. It's like, I see what I'm missing out on. As I having issues with cards. You might not know, but you will. Oh, you might not know now, but you will. Think of someone very, very special to you. Now feel yourself bursting with love for them. Now mentally shower, drench, and soak them in that love. Now mentally shower, drench, and soak yourself in my love. Now feel it always, the universe. And see, I feel like that's speaking to them, about them, especially if they're one of those people who were kind of like emotionally unavailable when you met them. Like, they might have presented some sort of fashion to you, but it wasn't entirely who they were as a person. And now they're coming to this sort of precipice where it's like, okay, I need to say something actual instead of being, in that moment of, well, this is how I feel about you, even though that might have not been how they felt about you. Or say they were in a situationship and they basically said, you don't mean anything to me. When in actuality, it's just kind of like that situationship. Yes, they may care about the other person, but it's not the same. Like, they can tell themselves it's the same every day, but it's not. And they know now, more so now, that it isn't. That it wasn't ever, they don't feel for that situationship the way in which they feel for you. And again, this could be vice versa. So, forgive. Of course, anger can always be justified, but then so can forgiveness. Just depends on how much you want from the adventure. Go for gobs, universe. It's been coming up a lot lately, but I mean, it's true. And again, it doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to go for this. It just means that you have the ability to be like, okay, I set all that aside. I forgive you. Whatever happened, I forgive you. Kind of like being able to see their situation without necessarily like getting mad and whatnot. Being in your power. Time for a love fest. This one was kind of poking out there. So actually everyone is reasonable. They just have their own reasons, and usually it's worth trying to learn what they are to maximize. To learn what they are to maximize chances of full-blown 60 style psychedelic love fest, which is always a good thing. Groovy you, the universe. And again, I feel like that's just them wanting to come forward with like their reasons. Because I mean, we're all human here. We've all had those moments where we haven't been in the most ideal situation, and I'm not saying this should be the reason that you let them back into your life. Again, make your boundaries, do what you feel you need to do for you. It's just, these sort of connections usually have those very trying times in our life where, say, what they're doing now is what you would have done in a relative sort of way back before you came into your own power and saw your self-worth. And so it probably won't make any sense to you now because you're like, I've grown from that. I'm not like that anymore. At one time, though, that sort of reasoning that they're probably going to come forward with would have made sense to you because at some point you've been there. Just saying. It's like, just be open to what they say, especially if you know that this is it. Again, even if you do, it doesn't mean that you have to accept it. Either way, you'll get your happiness. Somebody might be like, well, how do you know this? I just know, okay? And as per usual, during all this time, you focus on you. Like, really, the biggest part of the journey and life in general is not the romance with another person. It's literally coming back to you. You know, learning what makes you tick, what you like, what will bring you happiness within your own person. Regret. I know that I cannot change the past. And see, that's what they're feeling. They're like, I know I can't change the past, but I would like to bring justice to it. Self-esteem. I possess gifts of the souls that benefit me and others. And I feel like both the person watching and the person you're watching for are in this sort of energy. It's like, you know, coming into this, I feel more worthy within myself, which allows me to be more myself with the other person. Because there may have been a time when both parties were wearing masks instead of being themselves fully. Balance. I bring a state of perfect harmony into my world, and I do so without judgment. And on their end, it's like balance to the situation, which will help them bring balance within their own life. Now, I mean, in your case, you might have gotten to a point where it's like, whether I get that or not, I'm okay. And I mean, that's fine. Again, it's a bit of a lesson for both, but it's more so on their end. In your case, it might be related to patience. You know, learning to come to yourself. And on them, it's like, okay, do you have the strength to come forward and be the, you know, the person that you are within yourself and not the person that you thought you've been for years. And it's all about balance. In the meantime, while they're balancing themselves out, you balance yourself out. So no matter what, this is on the bottom. Happiness. I'm aware that being happy means that I am on the right path. Because no matter what, as long as you're in balance with yourself, that means there's happiness in your life, with or without this person, with or without anything else, you know, going on or anything that's happening. You are able to be there, which means that you are in a good place. And if you're not quite there, you're on your way there. Sometimes it is a process, okay? So, if you like this, please feel free to like, subscribe, comment down below. Hit the bell button for more. And thank you for watching. Love and light.